All right, let's kick off this deep dive. We're diving into financial success and building a fulfilling life.
Sounds ambitious. I'm ready.
We've got two sources today. Kind of an odd couple, honestly.
Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, so first, there's this YouTube video, How to Brute Force Your Way to $1 Million. It's from alex.com.
Okay, getting right to it.
Yeah, and then we've got Se Pego el Texto, the blueprint for self-improvement and success.
So one's about strategy, the other's more mindset.
Exactly. One's all about hitting those dollar milestones. The other's about habits.
Yeah,
The inner game. Can these two approaches actually work together?
let's see. I'm intrigued. Let's find out.
So alex.com comes out swinging, claiming you can hit $1 million in 3 to 10 years.
Wow, that's a bold claim. But how realistic is that timeline?
Well, they're upfront that it's not some get-rich-quick scheme.
Okay, good. Always skeptical of those.
Yeah, it's more about understanding the phases of how businesses grow, which they break down into 3 phases.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What are the phases?
So there's learn and build, optimize traction, and then lift off.
So starting from scratch, gaining momentum, then taking off.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever pictured yourself building a business, by the way?
I have, yeah.
Where would you say you are on that journey now?
Good question. I think for me, the learn and build phase resonates. Always learning, trying new things, sometimes failing, but always getting back up.
That's really the heart of that phase, right? The video even says 90% of businesses quit at this stage.
90%. Wow. Yeah, that learn and build phase can be brutal. It takes grit to push through, especially when people around you start doubting.
I could see that. It's interesting, though, that the video focuses so much on that external hustle, while Se Pego el Texto is all about your inner world,
Yeah, that's a good point. They both touch on similar themes, just from different angles.
Exactly. And then alex.com breaks the whole $1 million journey down into these 10 points, A through J.
Like milestones.
Yeah. Some are pretty basic, but some really stood out to me.
I'm all ears. What were some of the more interesting ones?
Okay, so point C, they highlight the first genuine customer payment.
Makes sense. That's a big one. Validates all your hard work.
Think about it. That first payment, it's more than just money, right? It's proof someone believes in your idea enough to pay for it.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge psychological boost, especially when you're still in that early learn and build phase, likely facing a lot of rejection.
Definitely. Okay, and then there's point G, reaching $100,000 in wealth.
Now we're talking.
Right. This is where they emphasize effective marketing.
You could have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. You need to get your message out there, right?
Absolutely. Marketing is crucial for hitting those financial milestones.
And then finally, the video wraps up with point J, achieving joy.
Joy. Interesting. What do they mean by that?
It's about reaching that point of financial security where you have the freedom to choose what's next.
Ugh, the freedom to choose. That's powerful. But what does joy really mean to each individual? That's where I think Se Pego el Texto comes in.
Yeah, good point. It pushes you to define your vision, what success means to you, beyond just hitting a certain dollar amount, setting SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Love those SMART goals. It's not just about chasing $1 million. It's about what that money will enable you to do, the life you can create, the impact you can have, having a destination in mind, but enjoying the journey too.
So true. But speaking of journeys, alex.com drops this idea of asymmetric risk for exponential growth.
Asymmetric risk. Now that's a phrase I haven't heard before. I'm curious, what do they mean by that?
Me too, honestly. I need a little more explanation on that one myself.
Yeah.
Can you break it down for us?
Let me see. Imagine you're at a crossroads with two paths. One is safe, predictable. The other is riskier, could lead to massive rewards, but you could also fail. Asymmetric risk is about choosing that second path, the riskier one.
Because the potential payoff is so much greater.
Exactly, even though it's scary. Think of startups like Uber or Airbnb. Massive risks, but huge payoff.
Okay, so it's about being strategic with risk-taking, knowing not every venture will work out, but betting on yourself when the opportunity is right. I can see how that could lead to faster growth. But Se Pego el Texto brings up building a solid foundation first. Strong habits, routines, consistent progress.
I see what you mean. That foundation can make navigating those risks a little easier.
Right. It's like having a coach in your corner, reminding you to train hard even while dreaming of winning the championship. So while the video is all think big, take chances, the text is like, hold on, make sure you're prepared for those chances. Speaking of which, remember that 90% statistic.
Oof, yeah, 90% of businesses quitting in that learn and build phase. A sobering thought.
Definitely. But Sepego el Texto offers that framework for building resilience, developing emotional intelligence, pushing through those challenges. So you can be in the 10% that make it right.
Exactly. And that resilience is so crucial when you're embracing asymmetric risk, like Alex.com talks about. When you take big swings, you're going to strike out sometimes.
But it's those home runs, those moments of exponential growth that make the risks worth it.
Exactly.
And Sepego el Texto adds another layer, reminding us that success isn't just external goals. It's about inner peace and fulfillment, self-care, gratitude, giving back.
It's about creating a life that's sustainable, fulfilling, even amidst those inevitable ups and downs. Setting yourself up for success in all areas of your life, not just financially. Ready to explore those ideas further.
Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into this blueprint and see how it can complement and maybe even challenge this brute force approach, this Sepego Text excerpt. It really digs into personal growth,
Yeah.
something the LX.com video kind of skimmed over.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Like it stresses having a solid morning routine, setting you up for success all day. Have you ever tried a morning routine?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Even small tweaks to daily habits can make a big difference over time. It's like what you do every day matters more than that one crazy productive day.
Totally. And the excerpt talks about choosing who you surround yourself with carefully. Like you need positive people, mentors.
It's all about that support system, right? People who get you, push you, and keep you accountable.
Yeah. And this reminds me of the LX.com video. Remember their warning about pretenders? Both sources are saying your circle matters big time.
Oh, for sure. It's like
Yeah.
if you're always around negativity, people who don't believe in you, staying motivated is so much harder. And speaking of staying motivated, the Alix.com video, they had that excitement graph, remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The graph. Can you remind us what that was all about?
Okay, so picture a line graph, right? Tracking your excitement level over time. But it's not a straight shot up. There are peaks and valleys, especially in that learn and build phase. Lots of dips like doubt, frustration, maybe even wanting to quit.
Yeah, been there. But the video's point was those dips are normal, right?
Exactly. It's how you bounce back that determines success, riding those waves.
So resilience is key,
Yeah.
which Sepego el Texto also talks about, but they frame it with emotional intelligence. That was a cool insight. It's not just pushing through, it's understanding your emotions.
You got it. It's like a toolkit for those valley of disappointment moments from the video. Self-awareness, managing your feelings, even having empathy for yourself, which connects back to that growth mindset, believing you can develop and improve.
So challenges become opportunities, not signs you're not good enough. Learn from them, adapt, come back stronger. It's like, I think there's a quote, something like fall 7 times, stand up 8.
I like that. And that resilience is so important when you're taking those asymmetric risks the video was talking about. Big swings mean striking out sometimes.
But when you hit a home run,
Right, yeah.
those are the moments that make it all worth it.
Exactly. And Sepego el Texto adds to this, saying success isn't just about hitting external goals. It's about inner peace, fulfillment too. Self-care, being grateful, giving back to others.
Things the Alex.com video didn't really dig into.
Right. It's like, yeah, chase those big dreams, but don't forget to take care of yourself along the way. Success without fulfillment, that's kind of empty.
It's about the balance, right? Striving for more, but also appreciating what you've got.
Yeah.
And this is where that Sepego el Texto concept of defining your version of success comes in.
Yes. It's not one size fits all. It's not just about the money. It's about living a life that truly resonates with you.
So the Alex.com video gives you that framework, those 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
But Sepego el Texto is saying, hold on, write your own roadmap.
Exactly. It could look completely different for each person. Building a business like Alix.com describes, sure, for some, but others, maybe it's creative passions, travel, or making a difference in their community. There are so many paths to fulfillment. The key is finding one that feels right for you.
And that's where self-awareness comes in, which the excerpt emphasizes. Knowing your strengths, weaknesses, values, passions. Then you can make choices that really align with who you are.
It's like that classic saying, know thyself. And the excerpt even gives tips for developing that self-awareness. Things like journaling, mindfulness, seeking feedback from people you trust.
It's about really understanding yourself, making choices that bring genuine fulfillment, not just external validation.
Exactly. And this ties back to Alex.com's emphasis on always learning. Both sources agree the journey of self-improvement never ends.
Always room to learn, grow, discover new things about yourself and the world.
It's about that growth mindset, being open to experiences, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. which in turn helps you navigate those asymmetric risks better.
The more you know, the more you can grow.
Exactly. And that growth, both internal and the external, that's what leads to a truly successful and fulfilling life, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree. So we've looked at the Alex.com video, that tactical approach to financial success, and we've explored the Sepegol Texo excerpt, diving deep into personal growth and fulfillment. But how do we bring these two together, practically speaking?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's what we'll be tackling in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
Wow, we've really covered a lot, haven't we? From like brute forcing millions to mapping out our own blueprints for self-improvement. I think the big takeaway for me is that you can have both those big financial goals and a life that feels, truly meaningful.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. The ALX.com video gives you that initial push, right? That ambition. It's like, hey, $1 million, it is possible. Here's one way to do it.
But then Se Pegó el Texto makes you stop and think, okay, but WHO do I need to be to get there? What will that money actually let me do?
It's about more than just the number, right?
Exactly. Like the video is the fuel, but the excerpt is the steering wheel, making sure you're actually headed somewhere you want to go. And speaking of which, remember that whole growth mindset thing we talked about?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The excerpt really digs deep into that. It's not just about believing you can improve. It's about seeking out challenges and learning from when you mess up.
It's like those dips on the excitement graph, remember? A growth mindset helps you handle those tough moments. It's that voice that says, hey, this setback doesn't define me. It's a chance to learn and come back stronger.
Love that. And something else that both sources highlighted in their own ways was your social circle. The video warns about those pretenders, and the excerpt is all about surrounding yourself with good people, mentors. Who you hang out with, it really does make a difference, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It's your support system, right? They can pump you up when you're down and push you to do better. And especially if you're really trying to hit those big financial goals, like, that $1 million mark, a strong network can make all the difference.
It's like having a team in your corner, cheerleaders and coaches. And Se Pegó el Texto takes it even further with emotional intelligence, right?
Yeah. It's not just about the hustle. It's about understanding your feelings, empathizing with others, building good relationships.
So it's not just about hitting that gas pedal all the time.
Right. It's about knowing when to steer, when to brake, when to navigate those tricky turns.
So we've got the external stuff from Alex.com and the internal stuff from Se Pegó el Texto. Sounds like true success is a mix of both, huh?
I think so. It's having the vision, the strategy, the right mindset and resilience to make it all happen.
And let's not forget, giving back. Both sources touched on that too. Whether it's, donating to charity, mentoring someone, or just sharing what you've learned, contributing to something bigger, it adds a whole other level of meaning to your achievements.
Absolutely. It's not just about what you get, it's about what you give too.
So it all comes back to that question, what does joy actually mean to you? What will you do with that $1 million once you hit it? How will you use your success to make a positive impact?
Big questions, right? But important ones. Because at the end of the day, success is a journey, not just the destination. And we each get to decide what that journey looks like and what we want to accomplish along the way.
Well said. We've given everyone a lot to think about today, haven't we? Two different but surprisingly connected approaches to success. Hopefully everyone listening has some new ideas for their own path forward.
That's what we were hoping for.
As you keep going on your journey, remember to take those smart risks, cultivate that growth mindset, and find your people, the ones who inspire and support you. And don't forget to define success on your own terms, aligning your actions with what truly matters to you. This deep dive has come to an end, but your exploration, that's just getting started. Keep learning, keep growing, keep pushing towards the life you want. Thanks for joining us.